Hey everybody, John Greenewald here of theblackvault.com. I wanted to throw out a video to you all about a document from 1950. This is a UFO-related event, which by the end you may be convinced that it's explainable, but I wanted to highlight it simply because it shows how quick UFOs can become a national security threat and how word of them goes right into the White House very, very quickly. It's a fun record, which I don't think has been thoroughly debunked as of yet, although there is likely a plausible explanation, which I will get into in a moment. Now, let me go ahead and bring up the document and go over it and highlight it a little bit for you guys so you know exactly what it is that I am talking about. Now, this was from 1950. Let me pull up my laser pointer here. There we go. So from 6 December 1950, a air defense alert was initiated based on, you can see here at 10:30 Eastern time, a large number of unidentified aircraft approaching northeastern United States at a high altitude. Eastern Air Defense Command is taking action to dispatch interceptors. No reason to believe they are friendly. So obviously unidentified objects, they called them aircraft, were coming in. Now, this came up from the United States Air Force Declassification Office. It's been released for many, many years, but doesn't get a whole lot of attention, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to do the video. As I mentioned, it was 10:30 when it started. What's very cool to see is how quick everything progresses. In this memo, it's about 5-6 pages long in total. In this memo, it gives a full breakdown of what time everything happened after the sightings of these unidentified aircraft. You can see within 2 minutes, word had already reached the White House. Now, that may seem obvious, but again, it shows how important these unidentified objects really are and how much they potentially are a threat. Again, a lot of people don't like to use that threat word. I reference that a lot. I'm not sure why. Government documents, military reports, and even eyewitness testimony detail the extreme threat potential behind whatever this phenomena is. So you can see here as the timeline goes on, there were quite a few people that were notified. The Deputy Director of the Air Force, Director of Intelligence, Secretary of the Air Force, the Public Relations, all within 4 minutes of this happening. All of those people were notified and were brought into being in the know of what was going on. As the timeline progresses, you can see here 10 minutes after it began, they now had a bearing. They knew that they were heading 200 degrees northeast of Limestone. There were 40 unidentified tracks total, all flying at around 32,000 feet. 10 minutes after that, General Landry had called and talked to the president firsthand, made sure that he was notified of the alert. What's also interesting is that the White House then backed out from being the point on this, meaning they were not going to be giving out any information to the general public. That was going to be referred to the Department of the Air Force. So it allowed the military to maintain some control over what was going on and what was being disseminated to the public. Amazing. All of this was happening within 20 minutes of the UFOs first being tracked. Here's another part where a Colonel Judy passed along the following message at 12:10. Now, doing the math, that is about 20 minutes shy of 2 full hours, so a little over an hour and a half of the incident taking place. Now, that might be important, but bear with me. They completed the identification at 12:10. They identified a airplane in the area, which was identified as a C-47. But you can see here, original blips on radar screen faded out and cannot now be verified, meaning more than an hour and a half later, they just vanished. Now, why do I bring up this time? Why is that part important? Well, to really kind of summarize it, the basic explanation, and possibly the most plausible, is all of this was just a radar malfunction. And all of this was just simply phantom blips, that they weren't really there. We do know that there was a C-47, as indicated by this record. But what about the 39 other blips? Were they all radar malfunctions? And if that's the case, would radar malfunctions last over an hour and a half? Would the president and everybody be notified? Now, again, that might sound like a very obvious thing to do, and it kind of is, but it shows how important these events really were, how quick it all went down, but also, was it really a radar malfunction? We may never know. The document ended at 1:28. They were talking about they completed kind of notifying everybody that the alert was canceled and that they were going to further investigate what was going on. But the document does not say these were radar blip malfunctions. This was just a phantom detection, that nothing was there. So I've filed numerous FOIA requests to try and get other material, because stuff like this just doesn't go away. They don't forget about it. So it may not be UFOs in the way that we all want it to be, but it's important nonetheless on what did they do, what did they determine, and none of that can be found, at least not yet. So I do have some other FOIA requests still open, but I thought I would highlight this one for you guys just to show how whatever these UFOs are, whatever the phenomena truly is, alien or not, it doesn't matter. We shouldn't shy away from that T word, because the threat potential is definitely there. Whether the blips vanish or not, it is there, and something that should definitely be taken seriously. And as you all know, if you pay attention to this channel, this is definitely not an isolated incident. It's not just one, because if it was, it'd be very easy to just dismiss it as a radar malfunction and something that was simply they were chasing ghosts. Rather, there are numerous examples that support the phenomena is very real, and so is the potential threat. This is John Greenewald Jr. signing off. We'll see you next time.